faces in the dark. Human beings are, by nature, a diurnal species. Even with everyone who engages in outrageous nightlife activities or are working the graveyard shift, we are creatures of the light, and we work the best when we do things during the daylight hours. It is for this reason that we have an innate fear of the dark, and why we won't go into dark places without some source of light allowing us to see. We also have an innate understanding of how the world around us is supposed to work, though this understanding isn't always accurate. This is why we tend to dislike things that challenge our perspective of reality. And we are forced to face both of these discomforts when we are confronted by the shadow people. The nature of the shadow people is that of ghostly apparitions that consists of nothing but shadow. More often than not, they are just misidentifications or hallucinations seen out of the corner of someone's eye. However, there have been times when the shadow people have been witnessed head-on, but such encounters are few in number. In some of these reports, the people who have seen them were absolutely terrified when the encounter happened. And it doesn't matter when these encounters have occurred, for the shadow people will emerge whenever the situation fits their fancy. When seen, the number of shadow people can vary from 1 to about a score, and their activities can vary widely. More often than not, they tend to travel alone or in small groups and are reluctant to engage with people directly. But when they do, bad things will always occur. One such encounter occurred one night as a man is sitting alone in his cabin. He has just entertained some of his neighbors who own the cabin right next door, and he is sitting at one end of the dining room table with his back facing the living room area. As he sits there, he sees something move just outside the cabin. With how the cabin is constructed, the south-facing wall consists of a lot of windows, which is meant to maximize the sunlight that is able to enter the cabin. It's through one of these windows that the man notices the movement occur outside. Since it's night out, it's hard for him to see what caused the movement to occur. However, there is a lot of light pouring out onto the deck area from both the dining and living rooms, accompanied by the fact that the outside lights are also turned on. Because of all of this light, it's hard for the man to conceive of how the thing wouldn't be illuminated in some way. But it wasn't. But since he only got a glancing look at the thing, the man doesn't give the situation much heed. It could have just been an animal like a deer passing by. However, whatever the thing is decides to come back, except that it's a little bolder this time. Curious to see what the thing is, the man gets up from his chair and walks down the length of the table in order to get a better look at the thing. Whatever the thing is, it appears to be skittish because it appears to flinch when the man starts moving about. But despite its skittish nature, the thing manages to hold its ground as the man makes his way down the length of the table. Once reaching the other end of the table, the man is able to get a clear look at the thing, and what he sees standing in the light of the cabin is a figure constructed entirely out of shadows, which shouldn't be possible. What the man is able to determine is that the thing is in a roughly human form, and with how everything is situated, there shouldn't be any shadows found where this thing is. As the man and shadow stare at each other, the shadowy figure begins to fade away and disappear. Once it completely disappears, the man turns around so that he can head into the kitchen and grab something to drink. But once he finishes turning around, the man comes face to face with the shadow person who was standing outside just a moment ago. Morning comes, and one of the neighbors who visited the man the night before makes her way over so that she can talk to him. After knocking on the front door and not getting a response, she lets herself in. She doesn't have any hesitation about doing this because the two of them have been friends for a while, accompanied by the fact that the lights in the cabin are on. And since the front door is unlocked, the neighbor doesn't have any trouble gaining access. Once inside the cabin, the neighbor finds the man's body lying on the ground. In the coroner's report, it will be ruled that his death was caused by a myocardial infarction. What caused the myocardial infarction wasn't able to be determined, but when the neighbor looked at the expression on the man's face, she was able to see that he died because of fright. When the neighbor found the man's body and rushed over to check on him, a shadowy figure was standing in the bathroom and looking out at the body. But the neighbor never noticed the figure standing there, so she never reacted to its presence, not even when it disappeared.